Hi Aquarius, welcome to your June reading and happy Gemini season. Oh, sorry buddy, let me just move you a little bit. There we go. So I am surrounded by the first wave of birthday flowers. It is my birthday in a few hours now. And I thought it would be wonderful to do your reading on the night of the eclipse. So first up we have 8 of Wands, 9 of Pentacles. You are quickly moving towards a new way to be financially independent. Maybe for some of you this means you've taken on a new career. Maybe for a lot of you it means the side hustle is taking off more and more. And then there's those of you where what's changed and what changes rapidly in June is your mindset about money. You've been playing with the idea of financial freedom, and we've been talking about it for months. You've had this impetus to start something new. You've been working towards it. And now it starts to seep into your subconscious mind. It starts to really affect your settings. So not only are you doing, not only are you inspired, not only are you learning and putting in the work, but you're beginning to think like that successful person. You're beginning to feel your settings, your psychocybernetic settings are changing to reflect this 9 of Pentacles. Now, the thing about this is, as you can see from where she's at, this can be a journey that's a bit isolating. So for those of you who've had any sort of a tumultuous or tenuous relationship, bottom of the deck here, 9 of Cups, also someone who has found their bliss on their own, this could mean that you need a little bit of a break from the person that you're with, or the torch you've been carrying for a long time. Whatever, excuse me, whatever you've been holding on to when it comes to love, a past love, someone you're with right now who's not, behaving the way you want them to, some idea you had in your head about what love is supposed to be. This changes not because it specifically hits that mark, but because you, in terms of your finances, in terms of what makes you content, is quickly changing, your thinking is changing, and therefore love just comes along for the ride because you need a little space. Okay, the title of your video is Strong Break. Sometimes the best thing you can do is give yourself a break. So existing relationships, existing friendships, existing career, it's good to take a little break so you can come back to it with a fresh perspective and start again, a new beginning based on putting something on hold for a little while. 4 of Pentacles and bottom of the deck here, the Fool. Please don't hang on to the small. Please don't hang on to what used to be or how you used to think or what you used to think you can earn or how worthy someone made you feel or how unworthy someone made you feel. The Fool says, no matter what your settings used to be, you can be different. And in June, the Fool energy takes over and you just move past this 4 of Pentacles seamlessly. If you cannot, if your fixed nature has you stuck in this 4 of Pentacles energy and for some reason or other, you just can't let go, understand then the Fool energy comes in and pushes you off that cliff because there's just no waiting anymore. You can't put this off anymore. And you have many times. Again, that's the fixed nature. And I think the reason Aquarians do it is because the thinking is maybe there's still something left to learn. Maybe there's something I'm missing. Maybe if I stay longer or I hold on longer, I will, excuse me, I don't know what's going on. Well, I know that you don't want to hear this, but maybe I'll reach some level of insight that I won't have if I just cavalierly move on. That way of thinking is just so hard and unfair to you, right? Because it puts this burden on you that you've got to take painful or experiences that were just not good enough for you and make sense of them. And for some reason, it has to be at your expense. There is a way to learn things without suffering in the process, right? And June wants you to understand that sticking to something or making yourself small or toughing it out is by no means noble. In fact, you're holding yourself back. And usually you do this at detriment to yourself, but for somebody else's benefit. And usually that person doesn't care, or they don't even notice. How many of you felt that way? I know so many Aquarians feel that way. Like, I'm doing all this. I've given up this much. I've sacrificed so much. I've kept myself stagnant for how long because it made this other person comfortable and I'm strong enough to take it. And June is like, but why? Like, is that the way to prove your strength? Like, okay, you're strong enough to take it, but does that mean you have to? Money issues. Taxes. Debts. It's really important to get this stuff paid. Okay, Mars is moving into Leo and you're going to get really stubborn and even more fixed, and you won't feel like doing any of this stuff. So it's important before the 11th to pay this stuff off. Whatever is outstanding, do your best to get rid of it and start clean. Right? Paying off your debts, paying off what's looming over your head and really responsible for so much overthinking is very important because you need to free yourself from just the stress of it, right? It's really easy on starting from the 11th when Mars moves into Leo to have huge fights with your loved ones. So here is how you keep away from that energy. Ready? Temperance. So if you have Sag placements especially, this will really help you. The Magician, right? We know Jupiter is going retrograde on the 20th. And the High Priestess. Temperance, you're above it. The Magician, try to find out as much as you can about it and gain some new skill because of it instead of getting into a fight about it. The High Priestess, whatever happens, don't take the bait, don't react. If you do these three things, Mars in Leo goes by well, right? It is across from you. It does pull on you. It does want you in the sector of dealing with your loved ones to push the gas too much, to be a bit too boisterous, to be a know-it-all. And this is going to really harm your relationships if you allow it. So that High Priestess, that Temperance, that Magician energy says, be smart, be calm, don't react, bring the conversation to you. Instead of playing ping pong with somebody and getting caught in their little trap, because it's so easy to trap you that way in some sort of, intellectual back and forth. Instead, elevate yourself past that argument, elevate yourself past that dynamic, and be really honest about it too. You don't have to hide from anyone. You can say, this is just an argument that seems so beneath me, or this is something that even talking about seems nonsensical to me. Like, I don't understand why I have to be a part of this. I refuse to be a part of this. That can also cause quite a lot of complications, but at least you're being honest and, you keep your integrity intact, but you don't get into an argument. Because if they want to get mad at you not engaging, they can get as mad as they want. That's still not going to cause a fight because you are not going to give in. Use your stubbornness to your advantage. If you know Mars moves into Leo and it makes you stubborn, then use that stubbornness in a way that helps you. Be stubborn about not getting into a fight. Let's move along. You want these good feelings. You want people to get along. You want people to be happy. You want to solve old issues. You want to solve old grievances. But you also can't make people come to the table, right? They have to also want it. So if you go above and beyond trying to play diplomat between people right now, you're the one who's going to get hurt. So please don't do that. Like, I know you're all about like connecting and humanity and you love everybody, but when you do it at your own expense, it's awful for you. It's awful for you. As a Gemini, we don't understand. I'm just being really honest. We just don't get it. but it's because we see how much it hurts you and embarrasses you and how people try to humiliate you with it when you're just trying to be a good person. So just please don't do it. Especially not in Gemini season, because it'll just backfire. Because everyone's acting like us. And like I said, we don't get it. And they're not going to get it. King of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, Two of Wands, and the Nine of Wands. So this new way of making money, this thing that you're delving deeper into and providing yourself this financial freedom, emotional freedom. If there is a fire sign in your life, they can be very beneficial to you right now. Okay? This Ace of Pentacles representing the new opportunities they can bring you. Also, there might be some travel involved. And some of you, maybe some of you are like, I haven't done that yet, or I don't know what this new thing is going to be. It's something hidden. It's something you've always been good at, but you've never seen as a skill or a possible profession. But in June, because money wants to find you, it's going to make excuses to find you. So a lot of you will find that there's some hidden, not so hidden really, but some secret hidden talent that you've always known you had, but you never saw it that way. And it can start making you great money. So if you've got fire signs in your life that you trust and you love, they can be a wonderful conduit right now for that financial success. All right, between the 2nd and the 22nd, Venus moves into Cancer, and you feel all this abundance start to flow back in. Things finally settle down with work. You've been through a pretty trying time for the last year and a half, 2 years, but as Venus moves into Cancer, you begin to feel like, okay, I've got the ground under my feet again. I can make some money. I can start saving money, and I don't feel hopeless about it anymore. I'm not confused about it anymore. I'm actually feeling really abundant and very generous. So, super positive. And then, whatever competition, pain, confusion you were feeling in February, it does make its way back, and it brings with it this feeling of inadequacy, right? You start to wonder again, even though you're on such solid ground financially by the end of the month, you start to wonder, like, what was it in February that made me feel so inadequate? Are those things still true? Do those issues still exist? And you may feel a bit haunted by it. You may also feel the fear come back that you had in February because somebody was either taunting you, upset with you, teasing you, judging you, and your internal dialogue can go a little left, and you start to wonder if those things are true. Obviously, they're not true. Obviously, none of that is true. But it would be a really great thing if, instead of lingering and overthinking about it, if you were to go ahead and cleanse out those emotional wounds, especially from childhood, especially from your teenage years, because whatever happened in February definitely triggered that, right? So it's a really good time during these Saturn-Uranus squares to clean yourself out and really just... This eclipse season especially can be like an antiseptic for you. So use it that way. When those old childhood fears, demons come up, address it, get rid of it, do the work. Don't sit in it. Don't linger. Okay, here's the other thing. And this is kind of sensitive. So, it's very possible for Aquarians, when they start to feel inadequate, to let someone back in their life that gave them that ego boost, gave them that rush, gave them that feeling that, you know, they were the one. But that's also the same person who either played you or deceived you or just left, right? And now, because you're feeling this inadequacy, because you're feeling this pain, it's very possible for that person to come back around. But if they do come back around and you do entertain them, it's very, very possible, especially if they're egocentric, selfish, self-obsessed, it's very possible for them to play you again and be quite cruel about it. So you just want to be careful. That's also why it's so important with that Four of Pentacles and the Fool to really understand the dynamic between those two cards and how that plays out in your thinking. Wherever you are holding on super tight, the Saturn-Uranus square is going to mess with you. And one of the ways that it can manifest is bringing someone back to you that you're still holding on to, so that person can treat you super bad, so you can finally let go of that addiction, compulsion, attachment, whatever you want to call it. I would prefer that you learn that lesson intellectually instead of, having to do the clinicals. It's no fun. Sorry, buddy. It's no fun. And you deserve better. And you deserve to be happy. And you deserve to be treated with respect. And that is just not how this person was. So no matter how they come across or how reformed they behave, it's going to go all right back there. So please don't do it. Love yourself more than you love them, even if you love them a lot. What a Gemini message. I love you. Hi, Aquarius. Welcome to the second part of your reading. So that reset, that strong break that your video is named for, that's today at the solar eclipse. 8 of Wands. From today, things start to move very quickly. And there is a drastic new beginning. The 9 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups next to each other is so sublime. You are accomplishing what you wanted, and you are feeling so very good about it. And these two feed each other, and collectively they raise your self-esteem. Things you would have found it really hard to let go of, especially starting tomorrow when Mars enters Leo. You're kind of okay walking away from. And that makes sense, because when your self-esteem is high, you have a tendency to let the past go. Most of the time when Aquarius holds on to the past, it's a security blanket. But we often forget that with the security and comfort of something that's already happened and we know how it ends, come the repeated woundings of what happened. When we remember, although we may choose to remember the good parts, anything we're hanging on to that can't be resolved has got to have some sort of trauma at its root. And until we can get to that, we can't let go. Self-esteem is the knowledge of self that you can handle a situation. That in a given situation you would do what was right for you and you could get it done. It's a measure of how capable you think you are. When you believe that you are capable, it's easier to move past grudges and regrets. So even though Mars and Leo will want you to hold fast and be stubborn and not forgive, the Fool is a gentle yet very poignant reminder of how magnetic one becomes when we let go. That Temperance card is about you not letting go in other areas. Emotionally, this is such an expansive time and you feel so good. But in terms of finances, you really need to be going the other way and being very conservative. It will blow over. Ultimately, what you are now dabbling in will make you, inshallah, quite some money. But it is a process that involves a lot of patience, and it's really important not to overreact. Again, this Mars placement here letting you know that although you will understand that you have to be in the High Priestess zone, it's just going to be too easy to fall into that savagery. But just remember that what you're getting back is what you're putting in, so be careful what you put in the machine. Now, Venus in Cancer has made you feel better about a work situation that you thought was pretty much over. But it's not, and neither are whatever issues you were dealing with in February. All of it is coming back around, and you have a chance to solve it in some pretty ingenious ways. You're being very inventive, perhaps even more creative than you've been in the past, because there's not so much riding on it anymore. Your esteem, your self-esteem has evolved past any one thing, any one mode, any one career. You have shown yourself that you can reinvent and survive. So your creativity is different now. You have a lot more to draw from. Use that energy well. Use it for your work, use it for healing, right? Sit with your child self. Ask them what they need. Give them what they need. Right? It's a very powerful time. And whatever you have been holding on to, if it magically comes back around, just be very careful. Because it is compelling, but also so very painful. All right? Love you. Let's get into this extended. I'll see you there right now.